Craig Knight says, wag wag lids. About 10 years ago, I went to see a stand-up show in the Brindley Runcorn. The crowd consisted of me and 5 other people. You could tell the 2 acts who were on, Andrew O'Neill and a lady whose name I can't remember, sort of struggled and just wanted to go home. But still finished the show, fair fucks. So, what's the smallest crowd you've played to? And if just 6 paying customers turned up to a show, would you play it or just fuck it off? Mark?
Firstly, I've got a memory of the Brindley in Runcorn, which is I did a tour show once there, and for some reason, at some point they changed the start time, and half the audience had 7:30 on their tickets, half at 8 o'clock. So I went on at 7:30, and I thought, this is not as many people as I was expecting. And then like another 100 people walked in at 8 p.m. Unbelievable. I've never
There
seen
are some fundamentals that a venue can't fuck up, and that is one of them.
You've got to tell everyone the same time for the start of the show, I think. It's so
we like
important.
to
pick one and tell everyone.
We like to stagger the crowd.
Yeah, like with football, you don't see like loads of people suddenly come in at 3:30. It's I'd say, firstly,
if you go to an Everton game, you see a lot of them leave at a different time. You know what I mean?
No, we don't try and beat the traffic like
that's going to hurt them even more than they're already hurting.
I don't think it's possible.
I'd firstly, I would do it to just 6 people because I think you just make a thing out of it, wouldn't you? You just if anything, if it was going to be a terrible turnout, I'd sort of rather have 6 than like 40 or so. Like if it's a small enough number of people that it's absolutely stupid.
Depends what room it is, doesn't it? Because there's some amazing gigs in small rooms where 40's banging.
Definitely. Actually, 40's
six
not
in
bad
150 seats is like, I think we need to pull it. Unless you're at the Fringe and then you've just got to get on with it. I think.
Hot Water's 220 and you could have a gig with 15 in there.
Yeah, for sure. I reckon I'd always do it regardless, I reckon, but that's partly because I do like chaos and stupid stuff. Like if it was a small enough number of people, you could just take them to a pub and do it around a table or something. I think that'd be a nice compromise.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
I've performed
do it in the car. Just do it in the car. I've got a Q7.
Drive around. Yeah.
I've performed to literally no one before because I had to.
Because you wanted the fee.
Yeah.
Which promoter was it? Let's name.
Adam Rushton.
Made you do the show?
No, so we got there. Adam was like booking it, and the fella at the bar was like, "Oh yeah, we've tried to sell tickets. Like we're just gonna hope for walk up because we haven't sold any."
Yeah.
And then nobody turned up, and we were like, "Right, can we have our money so we can go home?" And he was like, "You haven't done the gig."
Well, you have.
And he was like, "You haven't done the gig, so I'm not paying you." And we were like, "We'll do the gig." And he was like, "Go on then." So we
you
all
did
went
do
up.
it?
Yeah, to nobody.
That's
we
brilliant.
We had 2 intervals.
Just for the bar.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
you're not running straight through on my watch.
That's brilliant.
Adam Rushton went back on. I was like, "Right, we're gonna have a break now." We're back in about 10, 15 minutes.
So grab yourself a drink, have a sit down, goes to the toilet.
What kind of fucking like landlord is that big a con?
I was going to
You'll
say...
do it? And are you going to sit in the room? No. I'm going to be in the other bar, fuming.
But I'll know if the show happened or not.
He just stood at the bar on his phone.
I've got a few stories about I've played to like 4s and 6s, but I don't think I can top playing to 0 people to make a point like that. That's brilliant.
Perform to negative people to top it.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there, but I did the gig.
Yeah. Somehow the venue would have to burn down while there were no people in it to top that. That's amazing. The most amazing bit is that, like, well, the mind boggles at that. Why did he think that the gig would... This gig doesn't really happen if no one's there, is it? It's like a tree in the forest situation.
He was just like...
He's trying to not pay, wasn't he?
He didn't want to pay.
Yeah.
But he sort of backed himself into the corner of, if you want the money, do the gig. And we were like knew enough that we needed the money.
That's brilliant.
And we were like, well, we'll do it then. He was like, go on. We were like, right.
That's really funny.
Each other? You did it to other comics, I mean.
No, we just stood at the bar.
That's brilliant. You should have gone backstage when each other were on.
When you're skin and you've driven to a gig, I did a gig in Cardiff that I started at 8. I'd have been on at sort of 10. And just because it was such a long drive from Manchester, I was going to get there for 9. In the time it took for them to try and start, they realised no one was there. So they pulled the gig. So I walked in at 10 to 9 to an empty pub.
With no idea until then.
They were like, oh, the gig's been pulled. I was like, I'm in Cardiff. That's a 3-hour drive from Manchester.
Yeah.
The guys were just sort of finishing upstairs. And they were like, oh, the gig's off. I was like, cool. I need to get paid though. And he was like, oh, the gig's off. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm stood in Cardiff, mate. We had to walk to a cash point, and he got the cash.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, as if he's done that to you.
But I had to have.
No, not on you, on him.
But I wanted to be the guy who was like, cool, leave it. But I was like, I can't leave it.
No,
I've just driven from Manchester to Cardiff. I'm a new comic.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing
the
like
worst walk to the fucking cash point ever. I might as well have been fucking mugging him.
That's
I might as well
horrible,
have had a fucking knife at his back.
You might as well have leant across him at the cash point and gone 10, 20, 30.
He's like, oh, you should have seen it last time. So busy. I'm sure it fucking was.
Oh, every comic's had that. Hey, it's unbelievable. Last night, I once had hardly any sold in Blackburn. The King George's Hall, and the bloke, he was trying to help. He said, it's normally round for comedy, mate. So, okay, cool. So I'm just shit. And then he doubled down by saying, we had Jason Manford on here 2 nights sold out last week. I was like, right, I'm starting to see where my punters might have gone. They went to fucking Jason Manford. It's amazing how many promoters think it will comfort you to hear about someone else's show went so well last
Jason
week.
Manford, he had to add 3 extra dates.
Yeah, right.
Don't know what's going on with you.